Well, hello everyone. As you can tell, I removed the body again. I'm working towards, painting the frame and getting that all finalized so I can start putting it back together. But one loose end I had to take care of was the front wishbone mount. Well, the rear mount for the front wishbone. And before, what I did is I used the stock 1939 transmission mount, and then off of that, on the bottom, I welded these little supports to it and then a plate across. I was kind of worried about, if I went up a curb or anything, any pressure from the front wheels pushing back on that, from the front axle pushing back on that wishbone. So I wasn't really happy with just that. So what I did is I made up some metal pieces like this, and they are to go back at an angle here to the frame and support that mount. I have the other side tacked in already, so I thought I'd show you that. Let's see. So this piece right there, I think is a much better support to that. And then when I have the frame upside down, I'm gonna trim this little flat plate, kind of round it out so it flows better. But anyway, that's how that mount is looking. Yeah, that's kind of a better view. But like I said, I'm gonna trim this plate down to where it doesn't look like just a square plate there. So I got that tacked in. I'm going to tack in the other side, and then I'll be able to work my parking brake cable around all that stuff. Alright, well, I have as much torn off that frame as I can at the moment because I'm still working on my emergency or parking brake cable, and I found one at Napa that I think will work for me. So it'll be here maybe Thursday. So I can't remove the transmission and motor and rear axle until I get that figured out. Or I don't want to do that until I get that figured out. Because I'm going to have to weld a bracket somewhere in here to support one side of that brake cable. So what I did is I took off the front end, disassembled it all, and started kind of prepping for paint. And on this front end, I got it from Chassis Engineering. It's a forged front end. It's nice. I really like it. But maybe, I don't know if you can see it. There's like a cast or a forged mark, however they do it, right here. It's kind of rough. Maybe push you in the shade here. But anyway, you can see it right there. So, I know it's not a big deal, but I thought I would grind that out and smooth it out. So on this side, just kind of ground it and filed it and sanded it a little smoother, and I'll do that to the other side too. I'm not going to go crazy. I just wanted to get rid of that top. So that's what I'm doing today. And I'm going to start prepping pieces for paint and primer and stuff. So that's kind of nice, kind of like turning a corner with a project, putting color on. Alright, talk to you later. Alright, well, there it is. As done as I'm going to take it. It's all smoothed out. I'm just doing the top. I'm not going to go crazy and do the whole thing, because I am going to paint it. But it is all smoothed out, and that line is gone. So throw it in the sandblaster and get rid of this little bit of rust, and it will be ready to prime. Okay, well, the brake cable came in, and this is how I have it set up. This is the original 1939 parking brake, emergency brake part, and the cable goes around here, goes back to the rear wheels. So when you pull on this, it energizes the brakes. This little part right here came off part of the Model A. I also think that was maybe the parking brake, or I mean the mechanical brake part, but anyway, I got that off the Model A. It was a little bit shorter. This was the stock 39, and once I got it in there, there was not much room between the end of this and where it was pulling from here. So this one's shorter, so it gives me a little bit more pull. So I just swapped this. I'm using this at the front and using the shorter one at the back. So I did that, and what I did is this cable that I bought from Napa, I measured it, and on the Napa website, they actually, you can choose like different lengths. You can find a cable that you need that will fit your application by looking at the length of the sheathing on the outside, and also they have the length of the cable itself. So I kind of picked one that would work for my application, and it seems to be okay. What I did is, see, the brake cable comes with this little ball right here swedged on. What I did is I cut it off the other end. That allowed me to pull that cable out, and then I fit it into here. I took a couple of bolts that threaded into these parts to work on the lathe, and I drilled a hole the diameter of the cable so that I can run the cable through those bolts. My original idea was so that I could have some adjustment here, but in reality I don't think I'll need any adjustment at all, because the parking brake cable should be slightly slack anyway when it's off. So anyway, so I used the Model A part, had to shave this down just a little bit to fit in there. Got the drilled bolt, so maybe I can have some adjustment. If not, at least it gets the cable through the center and not rubbing on anything. Then this goes through the stock parking brake hole on the 39 radius rods, and then this clips it on there and holds that. Then I have a couple 8L clamps holding the outer sheathing, just so it's not hanging down underneath the car. It's up there, and all I did was welded a couple of 1/4 bolts to the bottom of this part is from the original 39 X member also. So anyway, it runs through there, and then this is the front towards the parking brake handle. I made this little bracket that actually I'm going to weld onto the X member, and then that'll be my front mount for the cable. I'll have to size this spring right here. This just helps the cable retract, parking brake retract. And then I have to slide this on, and then what I'll do is I'm going to have to shorten this cable a little bit, so it'll be down here. I'll slide it in, and then I'll take a nut or a washer or something, and I'll braze that onto this cable, so that'll be a stop there also. So what that does, all that's doing is connecting this parking brake. This is a Model A parking brake, where when I pull it, you know, it pulls this cable right here and energizes the brakes. And it should, the way I have it with the 8L clamps, it's a straight pull here, and then with my bracket welded to the X member, it'll be a straight pull to here too. Okay, well here it is installed kind of temporarily, because I'm going to have to tear it all apart again to take everything apart and paint the frame. But you can see the front. All I got to do is trim that wire, put the end on it, and then there's a pin that holds it to the parking brake. There's my bracket that I welded to the X member, and the cable runs down below there, and then comes out. I think this part will be a little straighter once I put the clip on it, and then attaches to the original 39 stuff. Anyway, all right, well, I think that's about it for this episode. So thanks for watching. Next I'm gonna tear everything apart, and I have to do a little bit more fabrication around my clutch pedal, and then prep the frame for paint. All right, well, thanks for watching.